We've got two problems here, and if we were doing this in class, we would do a whole discovery lesson on this. But this is the topic sum and difference of cubes. So I'm going to start. I've got a binomial times a trinomial, and you can tell they look similar. But I'm going to start by multiplying this out. So I'm going to take a times every term over here. So I get a cubed minus a squared b plus ab squared. Now I'm going to take the b times every term. So I get a squared b minus ab squared plus b cubed. So now let's put together our like terms. I get a cubed, the a squared b and a squared b cancel, the positive ab squared and the negative ab squared cancel, so I'm just left with plus b cubed. So when I multiply this binomial times this trinomial, I'm left with a cubed plus b cubed. Notice this is the sum of two cubes. Let's do the next one. This would be a cubed plus a squared b plus ab squared minus a squared b. So you can see what's happening here. Those are going to cancel. Minus ab squared, cancel, minus b cubed. So I'm left with a cubed minus b cubed. Notice I have a sum of cubes and a difference of cubes. If we go back and look at the original problem, notice all I've used in here are a's and b's. This one is a and b, a squared, a times b, b squared. Same thing over here, a and b, a squared, a times b, b squared. The only thing that's different is the signs. So I'm going to teach you a rule for determining the signs. So if I have something cubed and something cubed, this factors into a binomial times a trinomial. And what goes in the two terms in the binomial is the very thing that you're cubing. So a is the first term and b is the second term. What goes in the trinomial is this first term squared, and what goes at the end is the second term squared. And what goes in the middle term is those two things multiplied together. So to determine the sign, we're going to have the same as what's right here, the opposite of what was in the problem, and this last term will always be positive. So same, opposite, always positive. SOAP will give us our signs. So here, I'm going to have a binomial times a trinomial. A is the first term. B is the second term. First term is a squared. Last term is b squared. And then in the middle, I multiply the two terms together. And then I'm going to do same sign, opposite sign, always positive. All right, let's do one of these where we're actually using numbers. So I'm going to start with one that's fairly easy here. Let's do x cubed minus 27. Notice the first term is a cube and the second term is a cube. So since this is cube and this is cube, I'm going to have a binomial and a trinomial. What I put in the first two spots are the very things that I cubed to get these numbers. So x and 3, because 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. So that means the first and the last spots are going to be x squared and 3 squared, which is 9. What I put in the middle spot are these two things multiplied together. And now I just have to determine the signs. This is the same as the problem, this is the opposite, and this one's always positive. So then if we multiplied this out, we should get exactly what I started with. I'm going to do that on this one just to show you it's true. X times x is x cubed. This would be plus 3x squared plus 9x minus 3x squared minus 9x minus 27. So you can see how these cancel, and I'm just left with x cubed minus 27. I'll do one more with you. Let's do 8x cubed plus 343. So you're going to have to determine if that number 343 is a cube root. And I'm going to grab my calculator here and show you how to do that. So on the graphing calculator, you can find cube roots. The one right above the x squared, this one's just a square root. And we want to know the cube root. So we're going to hit math and then go down to 4. And I can check the number 343. And I see that 343 is 7 cubed. So 343 is 7 cubed. That's good. So that's a cube. And I know that 8 is the cube of 2. So what I've got here is the sum of cubes. So I'm going to have a binomial times a trinomial. The thing that goes in the first two terms of the binomial are 2x and 7, because those are the things that we're cubing. What goes here and here are the square of those two things. So 2x squared is 4x squared. And this is 7 squared, which is 49. And what goes in the middle are those two things multiplied together. And then I'm going to use SOAP for my signs. The same, opposite, always positive. We're getting close to being able to use these lessons. We've been factoring and factoring, and eventually we're going to set one of these problems equal to a number, and we'll be able to solve for x. So that's the direction we're headed, and that's the reason that you need to know how to factor.